This video includes a paid sponsorship from Span, but more on that later. Even before recent price cuts, Tesla has been aggressively taking market share from legacy automakers. However, with Tesla's recent price cuts, I only expect this rate to accelerate in the coming months, which means that legacy automakers are in for some serious trouble going forward. So let's examine some of the key reasons why Tesla is currently crushing legacy auto, and also why I believe they will continue to dominate and crush them in the future. I'm John, and this is Cleanerwatt. While many legacy automakers have seen a recent decline in automotive sales, Tesla has been steadily posting increases in production and deliveries. For instance, 2022 is once again a record year for deliveries for Tesla, and they delivered over 1.3 million vehicles last year. This represents around a 40% increase over the 2021 deliveries. In addition, the Model Y just actually broke into the top 10 best-selling vehicles, not just electric vehicles, but top 10 best-selling vehicles in the United States, according to this Car and Driver article, which stated that the Model Y was the 9th best-selling vehicle overall in the United States in 2022. Electrek also recently reported, using data from Automotive News, that Tesla is now the #1 luxury auto brand by sales in the US. For the full year 2022, Tesla surpassed BMW for that top spot. Now, of course, those are some very impressive achievements, especially for an electric vehicle, and it shows that the electric vehicle tide is turning, and very specifically that there's a lot of demand for Tesla's EVs. But remember that these huge sales achievements that I just mentioned in 2022 were even with the higher prices before Tesla cut their prices on their lineup. In addition, these price adjustments allowed for more Tesla variants to be eligible for the $7,500 US federal tax credit. For example, the 5-seat version of the long-range all-wheel drive Model Y now starts under $55,000, so it should qualify for that full $7,500 tax credit as well. While this US federal tax credit does have some income restrictions, and you have to have at least $7,500 of tax liability to be able to claim this credit, there are a lot of people that will qualify and be able to save with their Tesla purchases. And even after the IRS clarifies some of the battery sourcing guidelines, which may eliminate the tax credit, at least the full tax credit for the rear-wheel drive Model 3, the versions of Tesla's vehicles that use the 2170 cells made by Panasonic at Gigafactory Nevada, those should still qualify for that full tax credit going forward. Of course, we'll know for sure in March when the IRS gives these guidelines, but nonetheless, this $7,500 federal tax credit, now that most of Tesla's lower priced models qualify for this tax credit, that's also going to be a huge plus and could make Tesla's vehicles sell even better than they currently are because more people can now afford them. As the global market shifts more and more to electric vehicles, which is something that Tesla really pioneered, but as that happens, legacy automakers here in the United States, while they are starting to produce electric vehicles, they don't have nearly the capacity that Tesla has. So Tesla is the best positioned to take advantage of huge demand for electric vehicles in general, but also when you look at their electric vehicles, they have the best technology built into the vehicles. In many cases, they're at the tops of efficiency. And when you look at the value that you get, say, with a long-range all-wheel drive Model Y right now, or the rear-wheel drive Model 3, that value is really not beat by any other auto manufacturer when you look at how much range you get, the technology you get, and what you get for the price. Teslas are selling really well because they clearly are the best value and the best positioned electric vehicles right now on the market. It doesn't hurt that Tesla also has a very substantial and very convenient supercharging network, which makes a Tesla vehicle able to travel most places in the United States and many places in the world without having to worry about finding a charger, because Tesla's supercharger network is well positioned throughout many areas in the world. Now, as I transition into some of the reasons why I believe legacy auto is in trouble, I want to move beyond just the front-facing end and vehicle sales, and I want to move over to the back-end business side and really show Tesla's advantages on the business end and why I believe they will continue to dominate and continue to grow sales in the going forward. However, before I dive into those reasons, I would like to go ahead and introduce the sponsor of today's video. Thanks to Span for sponsoring this video. In addition to other useful features, the Span Smart Electrical Panel can help extend your battery backup time by somewhere around 40% on average. It is currently compatible with several popular home battery backup systems like the Tesla Powerwall, Solar Edge, and LG Chem. Also, integration with Enphase is coming soon. Span allows you to remotely monitor and track your energy usage and prioritize which circuits get power during a power outage with real-time control, thus eliminating the need for a separate critical loads panel. To find out more and get a quote for your particular situation, go over to span.io or click the link in the video description. And when you do fill out that form to get a quote, make sure that you let Span know that John from Cleanerwatt sent you. Okay, so let's now dive into the reasons why I believe Legacy Auto is in trouble and why I believe Tesla will dominate for the foreseeable future. First of all, Tesla has some very high volume cars incoming. For instance, the Cybertruck looks like it's going to go into production sometime later this year. And I believe Tesla will soon make an announcement about a compact Tesla that everyone has been expecting, a cheaper compact Tesla. And it appears like several new factory announcements are imminent from Tesla. At least that's what the rumors seem to suggest right now. And I believe we will soon find out where Tesla hopes to start building in their next factories. Now, moving to the business behind the vehicles themselves, Tesla right now has a market-leading profit margin on their vehicles. Really, all other automotive companies are not even close to Tesla when it comes to how much profit they make per vehicle. For instance, in Tesla's Q3 of 2022, Tesla posted a 27.9% GAAP automotive gross margin percentage, and they also had a 17.2% operating margin in Q3 as well. When you compare this to legacy automakers like GM, for instance, which in the Q3 of 2022 posted a GAAP net income margin of 7.8%. And in the third quarter of 2022, Ford actually posted a 2.1% GAAP net income margin loss. Now, the topic of Tesla's automotive margins and their profit margins is actually a topic that Sandy Munro of Munro Live has been talking about quite a bit lately. And for instance, in a January 6th live Q&A YouTube video, Sandy Munro made the statement they, referring to Tesla, could cut their profit margin in half, still make more than anybody else is making, and probably capture more market share. This was, of course, before Tesla cut their prices drastically, and now, of course, their margins should be a little bit lower than they were before, but I believe Tesla's still profitable. And Sandy Munro really had some criticism of his statement that Tesla could cut their profit margin in half and still beat other automakers. But in pushback to that, in response to that, a video that recently went out on his YouTube channel, on the Munro Live YouTube channel, Sandy said, "At the end of the day, we know exactly how much everything costs, and we also know what things normally people buy from the outside and what Tesla is making because they're vertically integrated." In this video, Sandy talks quite a bit about Tesla's profit margins and some of the things that influence that. And on the topic of Tesla's leading automotive profit margin and how software add-ons like full self-driving add to Tesla's real profit margin, Sandy once again reiterated, "I work for several different big automotive companies in Europe and Japan and here in the United States. And I can tell you what, nobody can do that. Nobody, absolutely nobody." When somebody like Sandy Munro makes such a bold statement like this, somebody with expert knowledge and somebody with really their thumb on the market, this of course holds a lot of weight and it makes a lot of sense. Tesla really is a leader, not only in technology, but they're a leader in manufacturing and profitable manufacturing. Now, profit is what will allow Tesla to build more factories. In addition, profit will allow Tesla to install more service centers, grow their mobile service fleet, open more supercharger locations, etc. And at the end of the day, transitioning the world to more sustainable transportation, that takes a lot of money, and it takes a profitable company to be able to do that. So with this profit margin lead, Tesla is not only profitable as a business more than other automakers, but also they're profitable on their electric vehicles specifically, and that's the vehicle that is the future. So that's going to give them a huge advantage over the competition because the competition, for instance, Legacy Auto, they still have to maintain their internal combustion engine business. And on that topic, for instance, I recently saw in the news that GM, according to an official press release, is investing $918 million in 4 US facilities. And this money is going mostly to their V8 engine production and some of it going to EV components. Ironically, when you dive into this press release, of the $918 million that GM is going to invest, only $64 million of that, or 7% roughly, of that $918 million is for EV-related components. The rest of it is for investing in future V8 engine production. Now, I do understand that GM needs to take care of the internal combustion engine business to some degree to be able to maintain profitability while they build their EV business. And they are making a big push into electric vehicles. But nonetheless, the return on investment for investing in components for a new V8 engine, that doesn't seem like a wise investment in my personal opinion. It kind of feels like the equivalent of expanding cassette tape or VHS manufacturing just as CDs began to take over. Or right now, if you were investing in CD or DVD manufacturing as digital has pretty much taken over most of the market, that's kind of the equivalent. In addition to Tesla not having to worry about investing in a dying business, an internal combustion engine business, Tesla is also able to build factories faster than Legacy Automotive as well. Another huge benefit that Tesla has right now comes down to the fact that they're actually building out capacity to refine their own lithium, for instance, and make it into a battery-grade lithium. And then also at their Gigafactory in Texas, their cathode materials production facility is actually coming along nicely as well. Once the lithium refinery in Texas comes online, and also their cathode active material processing plant there at Gigafactory Texas, once that comes online, that'll help them a lot with making sure that they can have a better control over some of the prices of the materials that go into the batteries. And it's specifically important as they ramp up their 4680 battery production, because if they hit the kind of numbers that they want to in the future, they're going to need a lot of these materials, lithium and these active cathode materials. And it's going to be very handy, and they're going to be able to control more of the supply chain if they manufacture this themselves from the raw materials. Now, so far, I've mainly focused in on Tesla's automotive business. However, Tesla also has a very promising energy business as well, which, while in the recent past, it hasn't made up a huge percentage of Tesla's profits or revenue, I believe that soon could change in the future, as I talked about in a recent video. Tesla does have solar panels, a solar roof, and their power wall for the residential backup power systems, but their commercial utility scale mega packs really have the potential to make a lot of revenue and a lot of profit for Tesla, at least according to what we can tell. I covered this quite a bit in a recent video, but it appears like Tesla is making somewhere around 45% or more margins on their mega packs. They have a dedicated factory in Lothrop, California that is designed to, when fully ramped, to be able to push out 40 gigawatt hours per year of these mega packs. And if Tesla's mega pack business grows as quickly as I think it will, here's an example on this chart showing how this could make Tesla hundreds of billions of dollars of profit in the future. In addition, beyond Tesla's profitability, Tesla also has a small fraction of the debt that most other legacy automakers currently have. And in addition to having a very low amount of debt, Tesla also, as of Q3 of 2022, had over $21 billion in their cash reserves. At the end of the day, when you look at Legacy Auto versus Tesla, Tesla has a huge lead in many aspects, and one of the key ways, as I focused on quite a bit, was profitability. This once again allows Tesla to build more factories and grow quickly. Now, really the only other company that's giving Tesla a run for their money is BYD. BYD, as I mentioned in a previous video, is doing some very impressive things, and they have very affordable vehicles, and they're selling really well. However, besides companies like BYD, when it comes to Legacy Automotive, while Legacy Auto is starting to bring out some pretty compelling EVs, I predict that Tesla will continue to dominate Legacy Auto in the foreseeable future. Do let me know what you think in the comments section below. Do you have anything to add to this, or do you disagree with me? I'd love to hear from you. And also, I want to say a special thank you once again to Span for sponsoring this video, and also to the Patreon supporters who support me every month and help make this content possible. A special thank you to my performance supporters and also the other supporters listed on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about the Patreon community I've set up, I'll put a link in the video description. Thank you so much.